game just started. Welcome to the Chaos Farm. OSHA wrote a paragraph, then rage quit the server in alarm. Neighbors staring over fences, they were never ready for this. Super strength, oversized tractor, one wrong move, we're digging a abyss. Wrong tool for the job, that's the only tool we got. Lawnmower plowing up the back 40, blades throwing rocks like shots. Questionable vintage metal held together with duct tape prayer. What's that cow doing over there? Don't ask, don't stare. Welcome to InsaneSimGuy's Chaos Farm, where the fields catch fire and we call it charm. If it fits, it ships, stack it to the stars. 5 million liters in a single car. If it's broken, yeet it across the map. Hey, watch it spin, never bring it back. This ain't cozy, this is false and harm. Welcome to the Chaos Farm. Tornado on the mini-map, we just call that drift practice. Tractor sideways through the corn, leaving crop circles in the cactus. Two combines welded together for a 3-point turn of doom. Who parked the harvester on the water tower? Chat says, seemed like room. 200 acres on a Tuesday, work with one set rusty rig. Engine sounds like ancient dragon screaming every time we dig. Neighbor's barn in the distance, we use it like a braking ramp. Only safety sign on this whole place says Scuff Content Camp. Welcome to InsaneSimGuy's Chaos Farm, where the fields catch fire and we call it charm. If it fits, it ships, stack it to the stars. 5 million liters in a single car. If it's broken, yeet it across the map. Clip that flip, never look back. This ain't cozy, this is false and harm. Welcome to the Chaos Farm. Who needs rules? We got ragdoll physics. Gravity's a guideline, not logistics. Server log crying, FPS dropping, but as long as chat is laughing, we are never ever stopping. Oh yeah! Welcome to InsaneSimGuy's Chaos Farm, where the fields explode and we call it charm. If it fits, it ships, stack it to the stars. 5 million liters in a single car. If it's broken, yeet it across the map. Launch it high, give the cows a clap. This ain't cozy, this is full sense war. Welcome to the Chaos Farm. Welcome to the Chaos Farm.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is ISG, and today I got something a little special for you. I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek to what I have done with the new update that's coming to Forest Hills. Also, after we get done with that, we might play around on the farm a little bit, get started. This is a brand new save that I just loaded up. This is on the updated version. This is not live yet, so please keep that in mind. And everything that you see here today, well, some of it's live, some of it's not. But I'll let you guys know firsthand what's actually live and what isn't. So give me just a second here. Gotta silence this dang phone. You know, y'all know how that is sometimes. There we go. All right. All right, so I'm sure you guys have seen my post recently about how I got the deck all in here now as a placeable. Well, guess what? The boat dock is now a placeable as well. And let's take a look at chat. Dead Calm with 2 thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Jody, how are you doing today? You're loving playing on this map, buddy? All right. You know, I love to hear that. It's been some fantastic feedback that I've been receiving from the entire community on this map. And I want to just thank everybody for all of the reports about every little, even just the minor, smallest of bugs that are out there. I want to say thank you to everybody for that. And Jody, I am doing absolutely fantastic today. So we'll go into the construction menu, and then you go over to decoration, and then you'll scroll down. I got some extra stuff loaded in here. I got to scroll up through this mess. I promise they're here. May have passed right by them. Okay, right here. So here's the deck, and here's your boat dock. So we're going to place a deck down right here, just to show you guys how it goes down. You can spin it, rotate it any way you want. Now it's only going to level based on the deck itself. And as you guys can see, it does a nice slope down after you get past where the deck is. So a couple of additions is added the umbrella here to the table with a light. And I put a light right up under here as well. Just kind of make it a little more lively at night. Jody says, the best detailed lived in Phil American map out there right now. Thank you, sir. It was kind of what I was going for with that. All right, so now we're going to walk down here to the water. So this is the dock that you start with on the starting farm. If you look over here at the plot next to this one, this is the one that I used for the placeable. And the reason for that, it's a little bit easier to get into right here to get into your boat than what that other one is. Now you're also going to see there is a couple minor differences from this one and the one that I'm going to place down. So let me get back over here real quick. All right, so go back into that construction menu. We're going to choose the dock. Now these are not final pricing on these. I may change this. And where is my dock? What the heck is going on here? Oh, did it really do that to me? Hold on one second. Let me look at my i3D. You know what? So you guys can see what I'm looking at. I'm going to share my editor real quick. As soon as I find the right one. I got 100 different things opened right now. Okay, so that's actually going to be the one for the map. And apparently it's not showing everything you guys are supposed to see on that. Yeah, you aren't seeing anything that's in the middle there. So give me a second, I'm just going to open up the dock real quick. And y'all know what's messed up? This thing was working perfectly until I started this stream. See if it reopens now properly. Nope, still ain't opening right. Let me try opening it in another window just to see. Okay, so it's just showing me just the lights is the only thing it's showing me, the two fluorescent lights. It's like everything else has gone away. But it looks like I'm going to have to rebuild that. Now, it won't take me long to do so, and I'll get that taken care of, so, you know, things happen sometimes. Alright, so we're back over on the game now. Yeah, so you can see it's just showing the two lights out there, that's it. I promise you it was working. Technical difficulties every time. The joys of modding. Alright, so let me turn on my flight mode real quick so I can show you guys around the rest of the map and some of the other stuff that I've done. So, I had some signs here that continue to want to take a nap. So these skull signs like this right here. You got one there, one right over here, and then another one all the way back here. So they're now properly standing up. I also had some floating textures in various locations. Got those all squared away. If we look at the map, to accommodate for you to be able to place the boat dock down, I've expanded these properties out into the water a little bit. So that way you're not going to get the message of you don't own that land. TGG, how are you doing today? Glad you're loving the map. So another thing that I've added in, we're going to go ahead and just purchase this plot right here. And I'm going to get a corn harvester real quick, and I'm going to show you guys something involving corn. That was not what I wanted to do. As y'all see, I got a lot of stuff loaded in as far as mods go. I think I loaded everything that I have available. Well, no, it wasn't everything. Quite a bit, though. And let's get us a quality corn header here. So this is a corn header that just released last week, and this thing is just absolutely beautiful and fantastic. Second Chance Gaming, how are you doing today? What did you miss? Well, you missed me placing down the new dock. You also missed me learning that somehow or another my i3D file for my boat dock is now jacked up. So I got to recreate that. Thankfully, that won't take me very long to do. So that's a kind of a huge plus right there. And right now I'm getting ready to demonstrate a couple of things that I have added in. Just going to drop this over the fence right here. So I'm going to set this right here. I'm going to set this to corn. Alright, so just going to drive out here a little bit. I need to unfold everything. I got it. That's why I got that manual attach on. If I can get up in here to attach this thing. Can't tell if the hoses are attached or not. What about you guys? Ah, here we go. I can do it right here. There we go. Red Wolf, how are you doing today? Welcome to the show. just kind of going over some of the changes that I've made with the update that's coming soon for Forest Hills. Gotta unfold the harvester, come on now. There we go. Alright, so now you guys ready for what you're about to see here? What do y'all see happening now? Sorry to hear about that kitten, man. I am glad to see they are getting better, though. So, when you guys harvest corn now, you can get straw from it without any additional mods to do so. And it will be quite a bit of straw that will come from this. Park this thing in the woods somewhat here, block traffic, because that's how we roll. Now, it's only straw, it's not like corn stalks or anything like that, but it can still be baled like regular straw and it's treated as regular straw. So another thing, we're going to change this field again. So I have completely reworked field grass. Alright, so I'm just going to show you guys what the different stages look like. This next one will get rid of that straw swath there. Alright, so this is when you sow it. Then that would be stage 1 of growth. And you can harvest that stage right there. Now you're only going to get a 15% yield for doing so. Stage 2, see it gets a little bit taller. And this will be I think it's a 25% yield. Then this is your stage 3, which will be a 45%. Stage 4, which is going to be 75%. And then your harvest ready, which is your 100%. If you let it go, if you let anything other than grass rolled or cut at the end of November, it's going to revert to this stage. And this stage cannot be harvested. You have to wait for it to grow one more stage. So what this does right here, this is, if you notice, this is real patchy. It's got some high spots, some real low spots. So, and then I have modified the help file. So under green plants, down here, field grass, this is the information about that. So I'll give you guys a moment so y'all can read that. So it does say you can sow it from March to November. You can harvest March to November. You can only harvest in March if you had mowed it and then either rolled it or whatever, or whatever at the end of the month prior. Or if you did that in November, then you'd be able to have a harvest in March. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to have a harvest in March. You'll have to wait until April to do so. And the field grass does give a very nice yield versus standard grass. Now, another thing I've done, there was a lot of people that were having some issues with the trigger on this chicken pasture here. So I moved the icon back a little bit. So now it's right where that animal dialogue was. Because before it was all the way up here and you weren't able to access it. You had to back up a couple of steps to be able to use it. So I've kind of put those together now so that way it is accessible when you walk up. Jody said he had to turn the crop calendar off, make it easier for him. You know what? That's okay. However you choose to play on this map is how you choose to play it. I'm not saying you have to do it the way that it's designed. You can play however you want. If you want to wipe this entire farm out right here and combine all of these fields into one field, have at it. I'm not going to stop you. So another thing on the starting farm was this little piece of fence right here. You were not able to sell initially. Well, you were, but you had to purchase this property to do so. And now you can sell every bit of it. You can remove all of it without having to purchase any additional property. And to show you guys, I do not own that field. Yeah, everything is so far that everybody has been reporting has been real minor stuff, easy to fix. Just it literally took me just a few moments to do it, which was great. And I'm keeping everything open until this weekend to give time for players to go through, see if they find anything else to report it to me. That way I can compile it all into one update instead of having to do an update now and then turn around and have another one a week later. So this object was floating. I had this wheelbarrow here was floating as well. Just minor things like that. Some of the ground textures here were actually floating. The little decals, so I had to adjust those. That's pretty much everything as far as the update goes. So hats off for that being something simple and easy to fix. And I'm just going to take one look at something real quick. I want to see how easy is this going to be for me to fix and see if I can get it in here and show you guys. Just trying to make sure all of my areas and everything are still in place. It looks as though they are. Okay, so alright, so what I'm doing right now is I am fixing to load up the map file so I can pull that dock back out of it and then put it back into here, into the i3D file, see if I can get it loaded in. Then I'll restart the save and see if we can get it to show up for you guys. If you guys give me about 5 minutes to do that, that would be fantastic. Y'all talk amongst yourselves, hit me up with some chats, let me know what you guys are doing on the map right now. Awesome, glad to hear that, Jody. TGG, if you're still here, have you found any more of those collectibles since you've been playing around on the map? Alright, so now let me import that back into here. And just give me a minute, I got to get it positioned real quick, so it'll take me just a moment. Alright, so this isn't 100% perfect placement for what I was going for. It's really close. Okay, so right there, let me save it. All right, guys, let me restart my game real quick. Now I will have to do some tweaking of things just a little bit. This is just to show you guys how it's going to work and everything. So what things has everybody already done on the map? Where have you been starting out farming? What have you been doing? And everything. What else? So y'all been building a new homestead? What's going on with everything on there? First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make sure this thing is working right. Hey, we got a boat dock. Okay, so you see, if you go out in the water, it actually goes underwater. So you have to come back on the land, kind of get it to the elevation you want. I would highly recommend that you guys prep an area first. Just kind of prep the pad because it's not going to level anything, but it will clear any vegetation for where it's at. So it will clear a path for it to go down. Okay, so Second Chance Gaming wants to know where the rundown farm is. So let me teleport over here. So plot 42. So if you visit that one right there, turn my flight mode back on. You have these 3 buildings here that can be rebuilt. So when you buy the land, you'll see the trigger. So you'll walk up to the trigger, click on it, and it will give you the option to rebuild that building. Actually, it doesn't give you an option. It just says construction has started. And then you just bring the materials over like any other constructible to get started building it. All right, so back over here real quick. All right, so things I've added versus what's on the other dock. You got a light right here. Then you come up under here. I put 2 fluorescent lights inside the boathouse here, just to kind of light things up a little bit at night. You guys can feel free to add additional decorations onto the platform. Just make sure you're in free place mode when you do so. Otherwise, it'll say that it's hitting something and it can't be placed, or it's overlapping another object or whatever. I am going to put a little bit of an angle on this right here, on the pad here, so instead of it laying flat on the ground like it is now. So I'll kind of raise that up a little bit and give it a little slope, like you're going up a ramp onto this, and then maybe slope this back down toward the dock itself, just to give you guys a little bit more of a variety on how it works. Because this is all just the concept right now, and I'm glad to see that it is actually working. At first I was worried that it was not going to let me have it extend out over the water, and I was very glad that it did allow that. And here's the deck for those that weren't here when I first showed it off. So this is the placeable deck. I've added the umbrella, the light up there on the table, and then a light right here on above the swing. And now I'm going to show you guys what everything looks like at night. So this is what you got. You have all the lights along here are all lit up. That light right there is lighting up for the table. Then this lights up for the bench, or swing, my bad. Feel free to add additional lighting, additional things on there. Say you want to put a trash can up here, maybe some more chairs, maybe some flower pots. Feel free to do so. Just make sure you choose free place mode and you can place whatever you want on there. And then the dock. So you got your lights along here, and that light up under there. So you see like how I added the light in this one here? I decided to do it a little differently over there. I put two lights hanging like that instead of one facing that way. Just kind of gives it a little better feel. So a lot of people have been asking this particular question. I know I've gone over this in the past, but I'm going to do it one more time. So a lot of people have been like, can't sell the lights around the houses. You actually can. You just have to find which one of these that you can click on, which happens to be this one right here. See how it glows just a little bit when I mouse over it? You click on that and choose sell, and that will sell every light of that type on that particular land. The same thing with these. So sell that one. Whoop. And it also sold the other one that was up here. And now let me buy these other properties here as well, so I can demonstrate. So like on this one, now I tried to put the lights close to the house that you could click on. And see, like you can click on this one here, and they all disappear. And then this one right here, we'll get rid of those two pole lights right there by the porch. Then on this property, this is the only light of this type, so that one is easy to find. And this one should be, yep, right there by the porch. We'll get rid of the rest of those. And this one here, so this one I made it the one by the road. And then in the back, so which one was it? Yeah, it's this one right here. Then at this house, okay, so right here. And then this one will be the one by the road as well. So as you can see, all of the lights can be removed from all of these properties. So if you allow you guys a little greater accessibility to the land, you can actually, and all of the fencing should be able to be removed, as you can see here. I did not actually mean to click that, but I will. And so you can go around this one here and remove all the fencing as well. And the same thing here. Now this one here, you're gonna have a lot of little segments because of the curve. Because each segment that where I had to put a separate line in the placeable for that, and that's how it determines the curvature. Because it'll only draw straight lines when you do that. So you have to break it down to be able to make multiple segments like that to get a curve in it. All right, so I may be reworking the alfalfa and clover a little bit to kind of change the yield a little, as well as alter the way the mowing works on it. I do know they do roll back as well at the end of November. So keep that in mind as well if you don't harvest those. All right, so shall we get started actually doing a little bit of farming today? So I'm going to take a look at the map here. I want you guys to tell me where y'all want me to start. I don't have to start down here. I can start over here, anywhere. Y'all want me to start with the farm here that needs to be rebuilt and kind of do like a start from scratch? I can delete all my money and we can make that happen. So what do you guys think? What type of play style would y'all like to see? And then I got Jade Woods joining the chat. How are you doing today? Yes, is it at all possible to help performance while plowing on PS5? He's tried base game plows, modded plows, as well as both base game and modded tractors with similar results. Jade, if you could please explain what exactly is the performance issue you're seeing. Is it just a frame rate drop, or is it a texture issue? What do you got going on there? Second Chance says rebuild the farm. All right, so let's go ahead and buy that. And you guys know what? I'm gonna start out living under a bridge for this. So to make this where you guys don't want to tell me that I have all these pieces of vehicle and whatnot, so we're gonna just sell off everything that's over here. In fact, you know what? Just go into this menu. We'll just sell it all off here before I delete 90% of my money. I'll keep the pickup truck because it ain't worth anything anyway. Now, if you guys notice, there's only one boat showing up here on my farm. I went ahead and reset the other two boats back to farm 0. So that way, if you're in a multiplayer game and you happen to sell off farm 1 or delete farm 1, those other 2 boats will still remain that you can use. It's not going to lock you out of them. So it's a frame rate drop. Gosh, I wish I knew what settings you guys had on PS5 for it. You have anything like a, because I know on here, if I go to my graphic settings, I know you guys probably don't have a resolution scaling, but we do have these draw distance settings. If you have anything like this, or even a LOD distance, see if you can maybe adjust that and drop it down and see if that may help. Like I said, I'm not sure what settings you have available to you. I know it's very limited. So kind of just play around with any settings that you may have, or maybe even see about changing the resolution your system is running at on your TV and see if that helps out a little bit. I know it may make the game look a little bit worse, but it'll keep those frame rates up if you can do anything with those right there. All right, so it still says I got $9.4 million. Yeah, well, that's not going to work for what we're trying to do. There we go. Now I got 43,000. It's an item in the tool shed that can't be sold. Okay. Don't mind me asking, what is that particular item in that tool shed? Do you know off the top of your head? Is it this shed or is it this shed that has it? Or is it the one that has the Kubota in it? Let's see. Sell these and see what's left behind. Okay, so all of that appears to have sold. Alright, so let's sell this one. Okay, you talking about this item right here? Have you tried walking up to that item? Because here's why it can't be sold. Yeah, that's the freebie I gave you guys. Hey, nothing like a free 10K out of just selling everything and realizing there's an item left, right? Yeah, the whole time I was sitting there going, I know for a fact that I made everything over here sellable. Because I even tested it. I sold it all and cleared the land and then made sure I could sell the land after I was done. So one thing with this one here, you sell the main house, you're going to sell a lot of stuff with it, or the main barn. There's a lot of decals on the ground here. You got all the decorations around it, and all of the lights are going to disappear when you sell this. So if you notice, it pretty much clears a huge chunk out of here. And then this little prop right here gets sold with the bunker silo. This gets sold with this building. And that is it for the props that are on this farm. So everything else this is all the cow pasture, and then you got the manure heap there, the water tower, chicken coop, silo, fuel tank, the 2 sheds, that silo, and then of course the entire fence, and then you have the sheep pasture up here. And that's everything that can be sold off that farm. And once you do all that, you're free to have the entire land to do whatever you want. Yeah, that's the critters mod that I have active. They get a little loud from time to time, but that's typical of those things. Okay, so now I'm back up to 174,000 after selling everything over there. Let's reduce this money a bit. There we go. All right, so we got this property here. We done purchased it. So we're going to go ahead and activate the triggers so we can get the reconstruction underway. And then I'm gonna go get a mower so I can kind of mow this land and clear it out a little bit, get it cleaned up, so we can actually, you know, get started, get where it's something we can actually work with. We're not having to try and dodge bushes to figure out where everything is. Unfortunately, no, that mod is not on console. That is a PC only mod, unfortunately. All right, so I'm just flying over here so I can grab my pickup truck. And real quick, let me go back into my settings. So I do not like this automatic engine start. Enable wages. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. So I'm playing with this human factors. This is another PC mod. And this is my first time using it, so bear with me if y'all see me passing out or something while trying to operate a piece of equipment. Just sit, kick back, and laugh and enjoy the show. Because if you look up in the top center of my screen, you see it shows my fatigue, my hunger, my thirst. And I do have a bottle of water to help with that. It also shows how many hours that I've worked, like to work the field or whatever. And it does track all of that. Beep beep, coming through. What do y'all think this is, a road? So, BDD uses a Steam Deck. I will ask him and see how it performs on there. All right, so let's go down here to mowers. So I got a few options here for a mower. We got some, I got a 0 turn up here. We can do it Forrest Gump style. Or if I'm feeling really froggy, I can get the push mower. So which option do y'all want me to use? Remember, I'm on a budget, so I got to keep that price down. I mean, I could also go ahead and get me a small tractor and see if I can find one of these attachments if they'll hook up to a small tractor. Let's see. Okay, I could probably get away with one of these right here. They only require 40 horsepower. Yeah, that's nope. That's 90. That doesn't even have a horsepower rating. I love when they do that. And I know none of this stuff base game is going to work up here and there, all that. So. All right, so let's see here. So this is only $450 for that. That would make things a little interesting. Yeah, we're going with standard tires. I'm not doing narrow tires. I'll pay that extra 80. And let's see if I can find a trailer so I can get this back over there. That is the wrong type of trailer. I could go with one of these. Let's see if I can fit it on this little utility trailer here. Love how rough this thing sounds when you start it up. It's just fantastic. You gotta be kidding me. Come on, you can do it. It's gonna need a little extra help. What do I want to do? Get out of the thing. There we go. Probably going to butcher this, but is that Cubis that I see out there? Talking about, hello, awesome map, love the muted colors, feels more realistic. Thank you, somebody understood what I was going for. I appreciate that. As of right now, no, the update will not require a new save, but that can change depending on what other people may find. But everything that I have already fixed that has been reported to me does not require a new save. And Jim says the field goals mod is really good too. You know what? It is great until it isn't. Those things get absolutely annoying. They will drive you beyond bonkers. We got Lee in the house. Hey, how you doing today? Crazily Country says should have seen it in HDR. Oh, absolutely. The map looks fantastic if you have HDR settings. And Ken, where have you been hiding, sir? Says he would have used the push mower. You know, normally I would have as well, but you know what? This is Forrest Gump style. I can use this on the football field when I finally get enough money to buy it. Yeah, dead calm, that straw will appear a little blended in sometimes. Wasn't a whole lot that I could do there. It's kind of just the way the colors worked out on it. I mean, I could probably try, maybe see if I could find like a different straw texture that might be able to resolve that. I'm not 100% certain, but it's something I could look into. But I'm not going to make any guarantees whatsoever on that. Alright, so let's go ahead and start mowing here. Oh crap, this thing don't have a mulching option. Oh well, I might have to go get a baler after I get done. Goodbye, bush. He says he's doing good, still amazed with everything on the map. Thank you, sir. Alright, so I'm going to speed things up a bit here, because I got a mod that lets me mow at the vehicle's full speed. Thing only mows in front while driving forward. It's terrible. I know mowers can work in reverse. I've done it before in real life. Of course, sometimes it's not recommended. This thing keeps running over and killing grass and making it where I can't mow it. So let's take a look back at chat. You guys have been trying to hit me up with all kinds of stuff, and I'm not paying attention. I apologize. So Lee said he's doing good, still amazed at everything. Yes, sir. Let's see. Ken, on his map of Forest Hills, he has the wooden TMR mixer on the starter farm. You know what? Have at it, sir. Now, here's my question. Does that mixer accept the additional products into it? Have you tested that yet? Because I have not tested to see if it accepts everything. Because I think it's just a production facility, isn't it? Jim says he loves that I added all the extra crops. Thank you. That was a royal pain for the first time ever doing it. I'm just glad that I was able to get it all working. Yeah, Ken, if you, when you get a chance, test that out for me. Let me know if it actually works out with the extra crops. But if it's a production facility, it probably won't, which I believe it is. So keep that in mind. Now, another thing I've been getting a few reports of is people are saying that animals are not producing milk. And let me show you guys why that report has been coming in. So if you go down here to the animals tab, like for your cows and water buffalo, it says, where does it say it in here? I know I left it in here somewhere. At least I thought I did. Yeah, right here. Cows and water buffalo start producing milk at 27 months of age, just before their first calving. And then if you go down here to goats, goats will start producing milk at 20 months, just before their first kidding. So if your animals are not producing milk, they're just not old enough. I have tested it. They do produce the milk whenever they reach the right age. And Ultra said he got my message and he said, thanks for getting back to him. Yes, sir. If you would, go ahead and tell everybody what it was you had asked about that I had to get back to you on. I almost got this cleared enough for me to be able to do what I need to right around here. Yeah, so as he stated, he was asking about the possibility of adding hemp. But yeah, unfortunately that is something that can't be done just yet. Yeah, I would definitely recommend turning off autosave while doing any type of testing stuff. Because the last thing you want to do is have it save while you're sitting there piddling around and not getting the stuff you wanted. Yeah, I think the main reason for the hemp issue is with the way Giants is, and well, we know what most people are going to try to use hemp for. Whereas if I were to put it in a map, I would integrate it into some productions for like clothing, ropes, and things like that. You know, make it where it actually makes sense to have it in the game. Okay, well, yeah, that's right. He did say can't, but yes, it can be done. It's just you can't integrate anything, I believe, illegal style of activities with it in some areas. So you have to be smart about how you implement things like that. And for those that are on, actually, I think this was released on all platforms, and I would recommend you grab this while you can, because I can promise you this building is not going to be around very long once Giants realizes what it actually is. I think I loaded in here. I may not have. Oh crap, I didn't actually load it in here. Alright, so give me a second. Come on, where's my one? Oh, there it is right there. I was just looking at it. Alright, so this mod right here, the Malt Beverage Factory, grab that while you can, because I have a feeling that thing's going to get yanked real soon. Especially if y'all know exactly what that is. And how in the world? Oh, I know how that happened. That's there we go. Alright guys, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Had to go to handle something real quick. Apologize for the delay there. Okay, so need to get me a baler. Let's go right on down here. We're going to go with square balers for this. It needs something small. You know what? Let's go with this bad boy here. This thing is just absolutely fantastic and I love it. Yeah, if you've never used this particular baler, you've been missing out on some great animations. And I don't know why it says to start the engine first. This thing has no engine. Yeah, that looks natural. It'll be alright. Alright, let me take a quick look over at Chad again real quick. See what we got going on. Ken says he's pretty sure that all TMR mixers won't accept alfalfa. Yeah, anything that's modded probably will not. I know all of them in my game will accept it, because I do have it set up to where that even the TMR mixing wagons will accept it. So keep that in mind. As far as modded ones, I have not tested all of them yet to see if they will actually accept it, but I know a lot of them will. So keep that in mind there. And Ultra says he was first asking what was that building that I was talking about. That was the malt beverage production facility, and he says he has it and uses it on all of his farms. You know, that's probably a very smart idea. Philippa, how are you doing today? Welcome to the show. Lee says that's a cool baler. I've seen a few people use it. Yeah, I love this thing. It is absolutely fantastic. This thing first dropped, I was like, oh, gotta grab it. It 100% fit all of the shenanigans that I normally perform. And I'm just gonna pick it up off of here. Alright, so you got the little pitchfork out front that's feeding all the grass, straw, or whatever you're loading into this thing. Which in this case is just grass. Now, if you notice, the pickup on this is a little wide because I do have, well, no, actually I had to turn that mod off for the extra wide pickup on these things because I do have the colossal stuff loaded into this game as well. And those two conflict with each other. For some reason, I'm not getting very much grass out of this. In fact, this is rather pitiful for the amount of grass I'm getting. By the way, this is the first time I've used this baler on this map, so that may be, it may have a slight issue. Because normally I should have had a couple of bells by now, of these baby bells. Let's see here, so Jones, how are you doing? It says, hi, IFG. Just made the switch to PC and very excited about this map. Awesome to have you on the PC side of things, and I hope you enjoy it. Hit me back with some feedback. Let me know what you think of it. Ken says he'd keep that in mind. Philippa says, good, thank you, and I'm doing fantastic. Lee, LOL, no doubt. Jones, my bad, ISG.IFG. Hey, it's all good, I understood. And Philippa, love your trains on the map. You know, I was real upset at the performance issues I was getting when I had those trains at 200 cars each. The game didn't like that very much. The biggest issue was loading into the shop. When you first loaded up the map, you had to sit there. If you were to click on a vehicle, you had to sit there and wait for about 3 minutes for it to finish loading in the entire trains before it would let you do anything. That was the main reason why I reduced them. This thing is fun and all till you're trying to steer it with a steering wheel. Oversteering of this thing is very easy if you have a steering wheel. So keep that in mind if you're ever using this. We're just going to set that off to the side over here. And let's see what sawmills I have available to put down so I can get started making some type of lumber. I do got a sawmill on here from a good buddy. See, yeah, this one right here. But unfortunately, it is too expensive. I can't afford it. I know some of y'all know old Farmer Donkey out there. This chip and wood sawmill, this thing is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I strongly recommend it. In fact, he just had another mod released today, Stone Productions. Make sure you guys hit that one up as well. Oh man, this is just going to take me broke. I might have to do some contracts after I do this. Now, where can I place this at? Because this is some highly uneven ground. Guess I could put it right here. Yeah, I should have free placed that. Oh, Lord. Okay, that is not a good place for that. Gonna get all my money back for that one. And Lee said, yeah, Donkey made an awesome sawmill. That he absolutely did. Yeah, he showed me that thing when he was in the process of testing it and everything, and I was like, dude. When he showed it to me, I was like, dude, please tell me you're actually releasing that. And he said, that's the plan. I was like, good, because if you weren't, I was going to have to whoop you. So what did old Mr. Silly P have to say about Farmer Donkey's mods there? Kind of curious. Because his words regarding this map are absolutely fantastic. So Jones, no, I have not done anything similar with alfalfa yet. Let me go back to that little test field that I had. I want to see what the growth stages look like on it and see if it's even possible for me to do something like that. So let's take a look at that. I've been wanting to kind of look at alfalfa as well as clover as a possibility of maybe doing something like that as well on those. Okay, so let's take a look, see what we got. All right, I'm going to open up my XML on alfalfa. I need to see which state it rolls back to whenever it's winter. So give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so it all goes to there. Okay, so it doesn't all revert back to like a very early stage. If it's harvest ready, it only rolls back about halfway, but everything else will roll all the way back. Wow, this stuff rolls literally all the way back. Okay. All right, so this is your first growth stage. Well, actually, that would be growth stage number 2, so to speak. Planting it is number 1. I don't know why they do that, but they do. So then you got that one, which I would recommend mowing that. So that one you could mow. I could probably work in that. And then you have this one. And then your harvest ready. I could probably add one more mowing cycle into that. Give you this as well, these last 3 to mow. I could probably work that in. So let me see. So the harvest ready says it only rolls back 1. Yeah, I'm probably going to change that. Because they say this one would just roll back to this state. I may have it go back 1 more to that. Whereas everything else is going to go all the way back to this state at the end of November if it's not mowed. No, Jones, you didn't interrupt. I have no problem taking a look and seeing if there's something that I could do with anything to, kind of give a little better quality of life to things. All right, so here's clover. So let me open up that XML as well. Okay, so that one follows the same stages as the alfalfa. So let me take a look and see how these actually look. Which almost looks identical right there. Exit out that. See how deep this is. Wouldn't get much yield out of that, but you could probably get a little bit out of that. Definitely get you a little bit more there. I could probably work in a couple extra on clover. That might be something I could look into. As far as the base game grass, I'm not touching that. I'm going to leave that as is. Where you have those 2 harvest stages. One is about 50% yield, where the last one is 100%. But with this map, I strongly recommend you use any of the other grasses that are available on the map, including this one here. Now, if you're just looking just for standard grass as what you're harvesting, then this is what I would recommend. Is green rye. Now, it takes a little while longer to grow. But you can see how tall it gets, and this yields a lot of grass if mowed. So keep that in mind. And let's see, so, and Philippa says he'll give this map 100%. I appreciate that. And that's another thing, guys. If you have not rated your mods that you download, please go rate them. It does let the modders know how their mods are performing. And that way it gives us an idea of whether or not we may need to take a look at things to maybe do an update on it, maybe kind of spruce it up a little bit, just something to bring it back to life. So keep that in mind. So make sure you guys are throwing those ratings out there and be honest with them. And then Ken says he hasn't seen any wild hogs on this map yet. Sir, you haven't looked hard enough if you have the Dorito pack on. Because they show up wherever they want. Alright, so getting back to trying to get this sawmill placed. Might be able to squeeze it down here in the corner if I clear out some of these trees. Alright, let's go get me a chainsaw. Now guys, y'all are fixing to learn that I do not do forestry, so super strength is going to be my friend in this. I'm going to cut it down and I'm going to move it out of the way till I get the sawmill placed, and I'm just going to pick them up and toss them in. So I'm just going to give you all the heads up now. Don't expect to see me bust out any forestry equipment and properly do this job, because it's not going to happen. And yes, that does cut very quickly. I do have the lumberjack mod on, and I have modified its cutting times on trees. That's a light pole. I can't cut that down. Would love to, but I might make somebody mad. I mean, it's not even on my land. I don't want this getting hit by a train. So, there we go. Now, I don't know if you guys have tried doing any of the deadwood contracts on this map yet. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a little insight on that. They can be tricky. And the reason for that is because in the forest there are also just standard deadwood trees that are planted out there. And it makes the ones that you're trying to harvest kind of blend in with them. Let's see if I got room to place it now. You know, I probably would if I get rid of the stumps. Now I just got to find them all. That leave a chunk behind, it did. There we go. Alright, so now I probably have enough room I can get it placed. There we go. I need this thing to rotate so I can drop it in here. There it goes. McGarrett, what's going on, sir? Hey, what the heck? Dang train was taking off one of my logs. That wasn't cool. There we go. Got a little bit of wood in here. Get that started working. In case you guys are wondering, this is the sawmill from my improved small production mod. And that mod, everything will produce things at a very, very rapid rate. So if you haven't given it a shot yet, take a look at it. See what you think. If you like it, download it. If not, move on. Not going to hurt my feelings. It's okay. I understand. Not every mod is for everybody. Let's see what we got going on there. Is it true there is no poplar on this map? Sir? Hold on a second. If there's no poplar on this map, then I need... You know, I never actually looked at that. Never actually dealt with poplar. Nope, poplar's here. I was about to say, I didn't modify it, but yeah, it's there. You just have to plant it. In fact, to verify and make sure it is working, let me head back to my test field. Yep, right there, poplar. And we got it sown. Stage 1, stage 2, which they're literally the same thing for like multiple stages before it ever actually changes. This was giants being lazy right here. So there you have it, poplar. Now I don't know where the heck I'm going. You can fill them from the main, you can fill water trailers from any body of water on the map. You can also use the water tower on the main farm or any of the water towers on the map. And yes, sir, Big Garrett. So yeah, you can see if you can find a seeder that'll plant it. Let me see, I'm curious. Find my planters real quick. There's one I'm curious on. This plant poplar does everything else under the sun. I don't see why it wouldn't. Boo, that does everything but poplar. What the heck? Come on, guys. Oh, this one will do poplar. Okay, so here you go. This mod right here is what you need to get. Guitar Nerd, how are you doing, sir? Welcome to the party. We're just kind of goofing off a little bit today. I'm taking a look at Forest Hills map. And for those of you that are just now joining, I'm going to show you guys the 2 new placeables that are going to be available with the new update when it goes live after I submit it, which will be this weekend, as long as nothing major occurs. So, had a lot of people requesting these, so I went ahead and made it happen. First one you have is your deck right here. It's got an added umbrella and a light underneath there, and it also added a light to the swing right here as well. And then down here, so this is the dock that you start with the starting farm. This is already down on this property. And this dock here is a placeable dock that you can put down. And then if you take a look under your placeables, so you go into your decoration tab. And it'll be down here with the, say Forest Hills mod on it to let you know you're on the right ones. And they're right here. You have your deck and your boat dock. Now the boat dock does not do any leveling. So it is wise to prep the area in advance for where you want the slab to be. I am going to tweak this a little bit. This is just proof of concept. I was actually kind of glad that I was able to get this much working properly today. So I am going to tweak it over the next few days to kind of adjust this a little bit and just kind of the elevations on everything. But keep in mind, wherever this tip of this thing is, that is the elevation it's basing the rest of it off of. So if I were to go out into the water with it, it would actually put the whole dock underwater. So this is where your elevation is for that you want to base off of for where to go off for when you're placing it. And then just keep an eye on the floats right here on this part and kind of line the water up with where it goes from a light color to a dark color, and you'll have it at the right elevation. So let me go to place one so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you can see like right here where I'm at. So here we go. So you see you go out in the water, it just goes underwater. So you just kind of bring it back on the shore and just keep an eye on those floats. And when it gets about right there, you'll click and place it. And then it'll clear all of the vegetation for where the dock is at. Now, I did expand these properties along here as well. Here we go. So normally initially they just ran up to the water's edge right here. So I expanded them out into the water to give you guys more room to be able to actually place this. And maybe if y'all needed to dig down a little bit for where the dock is actually going to be at, you could be able to do so. And McGarrick talking about, oh no, he made me curious. Yes, sir, you did. You mentioned something and I'm like, wait a minute. You made me have to double check it. Why you do that? You know, it's always good to have somebody else keep you on your toes. So thank you for that, sir. Because I probably would have never known anything if that was wrong until somebody said, hey, I can't plant trees in popular. I'm like, what are you talking about? Sure you can. Oh, wait, no, you can't. Let me fix that. And the good thing is those modifications that I'm thinking about making to the alfalfa and the clover, those are not going to require a new game as well. So, and that'll be a quick, easy adjustment in the XMLs to make that happen. I'll try to see if I can get that done tomorrow evening. If I can, then I will post some pictures on my Facebook or my Discord, and that way you guys can see what the growth stages are that you can be able to harvest it in. So speaking of my Discord, it should be a link to my Discord in the description, as well as just on my YouTube page. So make sure you guys hit that up if y'all want to join. Keep up to date on any progress that I'm making on any updates or any new mods that I may be working on. Or just join in some chat. Maybe want to ask me some questions. Just hop in there and have at it. Who knows? I might even do some multiplayer streams and say, hey, y'all want to hop in here with me? So keep that in mind. All right, so we got our sawmill currently working to try and make us some wood, some lumber. Let's take a look and see. So I fed it 11K. Well, I don't think I'm going to get enough out of that little bit of wood to produce everything I need for the first phase, but I'm going to let it run and see what happens. In the meantime, let's take a look at some contracts, see if there's anything I can try to earn some money on, because as y'all can see, I'm about broke after buying that thing. So let's see what I got available here. You know, I have none of these that I can deliver, so we're not even going to look at that. Wood transport is out of the question. So you can see there's plenty of deadwood contracts on the map. Pretty much anywhere there's a forest, I think I slapped a spot in for there to be a possibility of a deadwood contract. So keep that in mind. So we got a small harvesting contract down here on field 40, which I don't have a harvester. And borrowing their harvester is going to cost me 1/3 of the contract value. So I don't know if that's going to be a smart move to make. And let's see what we got here. So McGarrett says, well, it could be because you removed a popular fill type to make room for another crop. No, sir, I removed no fill types. But thank you for trying. Luke, how are you doing today? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're enjoying everything you're seeing so far. And also, guys, make sure you guys smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring that bell so you know when I go live. I'm going to try to do streaming on the map at either 2 or 3 times a week. Definitely going to do it probably Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if I'm not available on those days, then look for me on Monday and Wednesday. Try to keep Friday and Saturday open for me to goof off a little bit and relax for the weekend. And then a few of you are already aware that I do a little show with BDD Gaming, Will T Gaming, and Farmer Donkey on Sunday evenings. It's called Agribusiness Tonight. You guys can tune in to either BDD Gaming's YouTube or Will T Gaming's and check out the show. And that occurs every Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern. Okay, so got a little rock removal here. Cost me $800 to rent the equipment. Now this one might make a little more sense. A spraying contract only costs $800 for the equipment. I can make $6,700 out of it. Guitar Nerd, thank you for the sub, sir. But I think the best options I'm going to have are going to be one of these fertilizing contracts. So I'm probably going to take this one here. It's a little bit less money for renting of the equipment. Now I'm going to see if I can make that, the amount that they drop for me, last for both jobs. So we're going to try that and see what happens. So let me borrow the items on this one. And then I will accept this contract. All right. All right, so another thing, for those of you on PC, these vehicles back here, I can't actually use them, but what these are, this is the visual cells mod. It is a PC only mod. Sorry, console players, y'all don't get this one. I wish y'all did, because this is actually kind of fantastic. So when you go into your shop and you look at the pieces of equipment that are listed as used, they will actually show up right here for you to actually kind of be able to walk around, take a look at them, and see what you think of them before you buy them. See if it's actually a piece of equipment you might be needing. Oh, they gave me this thing. Yeah, at least it ain't the world's fastest version of this of these things. Or I'm sorry, the world's most useless tractor, as it should have been called. But Garrett, me, Donkey, BDD, and Will T Gaming are actually going to be doing something like that on Saturday night. We are all going to download Whitcomb Park when it comes out, and we're going to stream that. Each of us are going to have our own streams running on that, so you guys get ready for that. I'm saying that only dropped me 2,000 liters of fertilizer. I don't know if this is going to cut it. I'm going to try. Y'all wish me luck. Okay, these fields are right next to each other. That works out nicely. Andy, how are you doing today? Welcome to the channel. It says he likes those trains on here, especially the Lizard Pacific LPLC. Yes, sir. I had to go with the Lizard branding on them because of consoles. Consoles does not allow any branded equipment other than lizard or the ones that are actually have that Giants actually has the license for. So unlicensed equipment you're not going to see listed as being branded on consoles, unfortunately. So that was one of the stipulations for me being able to get this released as a console release. Then McGarrett talking about, sir, that's the wrong JD Green. Well, sir, I'm sorry, this is a leased piece of equipment, my bad. Then again, I'm always telling old Will that his John Deere are the wrong shade of red, so there's that. All right, so when I sent this map to Will T Gaming before it was released for his little early access chance to check it out, he decided he wanted to mow this field, and he regretted that decision. And you guys are going to see why as I start going back and forth and up and down on this thing. Because if you notice, there's a little bit of an elevation change fixing to take place here. Yeah, he learned real quick that mowing uphill on this might not have been the best idea. Now you can see even this tractor is struggling a little with it. McGarrett, I have no idea what you're referring to there, sir. I did not do that John Deere wrong. I promise. That's all right, Ken. If I'm hosting that game on Saturday, I'm going to load every New Holland mod I have in there and force Will to grab them. What you talking about? Me and Donkey both have the same outlook when it comes to small farm shenanigans. We love our small equipment. And if I go through all the small tractors I have loaded in this game, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I'm looking at how much fertilizer it's taking just to make one trip around this field, and I'm starting to realize that, yeah, I'm probably going to need to go get a refill. Ken, I feel attacked with that statement, sir. And it's fantastic, but I feel attacked. I just want you to know that. Big Gary's talking about, oh yeah, the 7,000 mods of 3 meter work width. You know what? Yes. Or better yet, let's hook up all of the 1.5 meter implements to the massive Case or John Deere tractors and just completely dwarf them. It's fantastic when you do that. I saw Ken type something in there, and then it looked like he deleted it. Either that or my chats are going funky here. Instead of a long railroad train, have a lit. I'm trying to figure out what happened there, sir. I want to know where you were going with that. It says, from now on, Giants could say, if it doesn't bring something new to the game, it's going to be rejected. That's fantastic. Okay, so, Ken, here's your piggies. And I'm going to pull a go ham on them. Y'all get the heck on out of here. Get off my field. Go. I mean, it ain't my field. It's some other poor chap's field, but you know what? I protected this field. He owes me more money for this contract now. Ken said, instead of a long railroad train, have a long land train instead. You know, that's actually very possible. All you do, you just implement the railroad, but forget to put the tracks down. I don't know why I kept missing a strip. I had narrowed up my spray width. That should have been done right there, but no. Love that. Doesn't look like it's spraying anything yet. It's still working. Deadcom still saying those pigs would look better with some raptor skin. So I'll tell you what, if I could figure out how to do that, I would. Heck, even just changing out the deer in the game with some raptors would be fantastic. Luke says, hella spread pattern is new. Yes, sir. This is the new way of spreading fertilizer right here. There we go. Contract finished. Let me go get some more fertilizer because I definitely do not have enough for the next field. Jurassic Farming Simulator. Crazy. If we make that happen, you're going to learn something about how to model things in 3D for me. I'm gonna put you to work on that one, sir. You're going to be over here every night, and we're going to work together, and we're going to make that happen. Now, the only downside to it is that that particular map's probably going to require 15 mods that we're going to have to craft ourselves. And it's going to be all of the assets for the map. And we'll program it where you'll be harvesting a field and a T-Rex will come along and decide to eat your tractor on you. Help if I put the tractor in forward. Reverse don't seem to work when you're running into something. And Luke said that would be awesome. Yes, sir. I can only picture how that would end up being. I might move that tree out of that roadway slightly there. Ken said, never actually seen those wild hogs use the feeders provided. No, they actually use them. I've put them out there and they ate the heck out of all that hay that was in it. So they actually use them. I don't know how well it actually protects your fields and everything, but they ate that hay up in a hurry. Luke says, hey, that raptor idea is possible. Oh, it's absolutely possible. I would love to do something like that one day. What I'm going to do, I'm probably going to release my next map, and then I'm probably going to play around with 3D modeling and kind of see what I can do, see what I can learn with that. And that way I can start crafting better buildings and stuff instead of, just moving things around on base game assets. But right now my 3D modeling skills is kind of into crapper, So I need to hone in on that skill a little bit. I'm good at placing the textures on the models. I just really suck at making the models. But Garrett, that is something I would love to make, is some constructibles. Because that is absolutely something we need a lot more of. Whether it's just damaged buildings that you're rebuilding, or more just houses, or just whatever, just anything constructible would be great. Joe says he's jumping off to start a new save on this map. Said thanks for answering his questions. Keep it up. Yes, sir. Thank you for stopping in. It's been a pleasure. And just a reminder to everybody, if you haven't smashed like and subscribe yet, make sure you guys do so. Ring the bell so that way you get notified anytime that I go live. Jump in there to my Discord. There should be a link in the description as well as on the page. And if that link is broken, let me know so I can get that updated and get it fixed. So McGarrett, so getting your models from Blender into Giants Editor is actually pretty. There's actually a few mods tools that are available to do so. Giants has a 3D exporter. And then I'd have to look and see. There was another one that was recently made. Gotta remember who the heck made it. I think it was DTAP Gaming that made it. Take a look at his exporter. It's a lot more powerful than the standard Giants one. You can do a lot more with it. It's a lot easier to use as well. So look into that. Because one thing I did do in Blender on this map is all of the roads. They were all done in Blender. Luke says, make a Jurassic Park map similar to No Man's Land. Lone survivor, but instead of tornado damage, you get invaded by random raptor attacks, etc. Good lord, sir. You know, with that level of violence, Giants might have a slight issue with that, but I'd be down for it. Not gonna lie. Dead called Jurassic Farms. It turned off another one of my sides of my sprayer again. Why'd y'all let me do that? I blame that crazily country guy. Only because I know him in real life. I can get away with blaming him. Yeah, there was some more of them piggies. Didn't see them till it was too late. Ken, what are you talking about $32 already? What'd you do? Alright, contract is done. Let's collect my money. Shane, welcome to the channel. No sir, as of right now, there is not a new save required for the update. However, that can change. It all depends on what is found between now and the time that I submit it. But as of right now, no new save is required. Here's all the school buses picking up the youngins. In fact, they're getting ready to pull out of here in just a minute. So there you go right there. So in the afternoons, they leave at, it's a 1 minute interval between buses. Game time interval, not real life interval. Well, if you have it at 1x speed, then it's real life. All right, so for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, I'm going to show these one more time. And Shane, thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying the map. Make sure you rate it on ModHub. That lets me know how I'm doing, and be honest with your rating. If it's not a 5-star, don't give me a 5-star, but I would love the 5-star ratings, but you know how it is sometimes. All right, so right here, so I know you guys had a lot of people requesting that I made the deck and one of the docks a placeable in the game, and that's exactly what I have done. And these will be included in the update, so you got your deck right here, and then you got your boat dock. Watch, I'm going to place this thing that's just going to be hovering out there. And then the deck will go down like that. And then when you sell off the deck, this is what it does underneath it. So it just levels out the platform where the deck is, and it just paints some dirt under it. This is the only bit of leveling that I currently have it set for. I'm probably going to remove that and let you guys prep your area for the pad instead of me actually prepping it. That way you guys can kind of slope it to the terrain however you want, and I'll just have like a dot that it's set up for leveling. But that one will not paint anything under it, so do all your prep work, get it painted however you want. If you want to put gravel under the pad or you want to just have mud all the way down, go for it. Plus, I would also recommend before you place it on the water, do any digging down that you need, because once you place it, you're not going to be able to do that. Oh Lord, but Garrett has joined the insanity corner. Alright, so let's go take a check on the sawmill. Let's see how production has been coming along while I was goofing off and doing everything else. Oh, look at this. I got some pallets sitting here. I can start feeding these things. Okay, guys, so this one is more like a barn right here. This is an open shed, and this is kind of like a small garage. So, which one should I feed this lumber into first? Country says the barn. Anybody want to second that decision? Alright, country, we'll feed the barn first. Make sure it went into the barn, and looks like it did. No, I think nah, this one ate it. Good lord. Yeah, you got to be careful when trying to feed these. You got to come in from the right angle. Placing this thing all the way back here was probably a bad idea for that, but I'll manage. I'll at least get this one in the barn. We'll put this one for the small shed since I already accidentally fed something to it. There we go. Alright, so we've ate up about half of the wood that I put in there. I may have to cut a few more trees down before too long. You know, I'm going to see if I can knock these two straight into the point to where they'll auto load in there. Let's see how close I come. Right angle, just not long enough. That one got hung up. Let's see where we're at now. There we go. Now we're good to go on wood for a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and knock this one on down. Trying to find that stump from that small tree I cut down over here. Sure, I'll find it with a lawnmower or something. Usually how that works, even in real life. That did not work as planned. There we go. Yeah, it's hard battling the collisions on these things because they're ridiculous. To give you an idea of what... Ooh, actually, I don't want to hit that because then you'll know what the buildings will look like. I forgot about that. I turned on the collision stuff. It'll show you what those buildings are supposed to look like. Rather make that be a little surprise for y'all when they get built. Okay, so got that done. It's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's see if we got any more contracts to make a little bit more money off of. Oh, now all the rest of the fertilizing contracts populate. That figures. Collisions weren't bad in 22, but they are absolute trash in this game. At least in 22, you could stack everything you wanted on a trailer and go do what you want to do. Did I just accept that and not borrow the equipment? I think I did. Well, crap. Now I gotta find another harvesting contract that I actually have a decent piece of equipment to use. Alright, we'll go with this one. Alright, so we got 8 and 90. Okay. The problem with the collisions in this game is it's not the collisions per se. It's something dealing with their engine. And it does not like items actually being on top of each other, even when they're stacked up. That's what causes all the issues with this one. Because they just end up bouncing off of each other. It's almost like the collisions have some type of bounce back programmed into them. They just need, but they have yet to figure that out and how to fix it. Mason Farms, how are you doing today? Welcome to the channel, sir. I'm doing great. How about yourself? Luke, if you realize how many XML files I had to edit for this map, you would understand I know how to edit a few XMLs. I mean, let me check something real quick. How many placeables did I have to create for this map? Now, not all of these show up in the menu. So I got 41 folders of different placeables, some of which have a few of them have up to 4 placeables in each one, and there's an XML file for each of those. And that's just for like the productions that you see around the map, the shop here, and things like that. I had to edit XMLs for all of that. Alright, I'm going to get this guy straightened on the road, and I'm going to send him to drive to that field. Mason Farms, thanks for the sub, sir. Here we go. It's going to park him right here. The fields on this map, give me a minute, I don't remember exact sizes off of the top of my head. I know the largest one is like 17 acres, and I think the smallest is like half an acre. And they just kind of vary between that. Have you seen the PDA on the map yet? Okay, so let's take a look at that. All right, so this is your largest field. I want to say it's this one or this one is the largest. They're really close to the same size. And then you got a bunch of smaller fields. Like this is your starting farm right here. So you get fields 1, 2, and 3 plus the little sheep pasture right there, and then you start with this farmhouse. And then this over here is the large farm that's pre-built on the map. And what I'm working on right now is 42, which is a destroyed farm that you have to rebuild. They're not like overly massive fields. So let me just go to this one. And I'll go into flight mode to give you an idea. So this is probably the largest field, or the second largest. It's like I said, they're both pretty close in their size. And then as we fly over this way, you kind of get an idea of what you're looking at. Now, I have sold a lot of the stuff off the starter farm because I was demonstrating something earlier. Yeah, I would say they're large scale medium fields for the most part. Nothing, like I said, nothing that's going to require the largest of equipment in the game by any means. But the main difference there is that none of the fields are going to be flat. You're going to have some pretty good slopes on a lot of fields, as you can see right here, as well as this field here. So you got a lot of slopes that you have to deal with. So with that, you're probably going to need some larger equipment for some of those fields to kind of help compensate for the slope and the implement that you're pulling. So as you can kind of see as I'm flying around here at some of these slopes that you have. So what is it y'all like about the lake the most? Is it the fact that there's boats on it and you can go fishing in it? Or the fact that I'm putting in a dock so you guys can place one at any location along the lake? Mason says, yep. So yeah, you can see, like I said, you got a lot of variety on the fields. You got a bunch of new crops and everything on here. Extremely long trains, about 60 cars each. You can see both of the trains right here running. Ultra, all right, I can understand that. Yes, Florida is full of lakes, and in some cases, those things should be called ponds, especially around the Orlando area. They call everything, every body of water, they call it a lake, and I'm like, that's a pond. I could skip a rock across it. So every property here in the town can be purchased. You won't be able to sell anything on them, but you can add some decorations to them. You can mow the yards there if you want to do like a role play series where you're doing like lawn care service. The high school can be purchased. You can mow the football field. It is recommended for you to roll it after you mow it for greater visibility on the markings on the field, things like that. You do have some new crops. This is alfalfa right here. And there's also clover, rye, triticale, spelt, sorghum, corn, sorghum. Silage, corn, psyllium, sorghum. Yeah, there's a lot of different new crops on this map as well. Some have been integrated into productions. Others are used for animal feed, things like that. Ultra, you realize how many XMLs I would have to make for that? I mean, it took a lot for me to shrink the file size down from the 800 megabytes that it was to what you guys ended up with. Now, a lot of that shrinking down was for performance issues that it was having. I had to remove about 15,000 trees from the map. Yeah, it would be an XML per property for those. I barely made this road wide enough. Alright, so right here, this is clover on this side over here. Now there is a mod on PC that will allow you to delete things, like decorative objects and stuff, but unfortunately console players do not get access to that. Detach the hose, or am I flying? What is it? There we go. Sorry about your clovers, neighbor. Now there is stubble destruction on the map, but since this is a contract field, there's no stubble destructions. I don't actually own the field. Yeah, it would be, I really wish that consoles would allow third-party scripts. I understand why they don't allow it, because it could, basically, without knowing exactly what those scripts are, it can open up backdoors to people's consoles and things like that, and that's why they don't allow them. Like I said, I understand that, I get it, but I just wish they would have a little bit more flexibility on some of that. $20K for running over your clover. Send me the bill. I'll forward it over to Will. We'll take it out of his John Deere budget. You gotta turn this thing off if you want to back it up. It has no power going in reverse. Dead calm. Come on now. That's what makes them magically delicious. Sir. Now y'all get to see a full length of the train. Let's see, Luke said FS19, he made sure console players had a lot equal to PC almost. Converted so many mods to console on FS19. Actually started to hate the game. Took a few, yeah, I could see that. You know, I actually started playing the game with 19. I didn't really dabble in mods on 19. It wasn't until 22 that I said, you know what, I'm going mod crazy now. And started downloading all kinds of messed up stuff. And now my mod folder is about 2,000 mods deep, and I'm like, I can't find anything that I want to delete. I need to delete some, but I can't figure out which ones I want to. And it makes setting up a new game a pain, because you got to go through all of the different mods and figure out what you want for the game and everything, what's going to work on the map you're on and all that stuff. '22 was absolutely fantastic. Ultra, go for it. Let's hear some history. We need a good history lesson in the channel today. Oh Lord, this thing can't make it up the hill. Here's a prime example of what I meant by you're going to probably need more powerful equipment. This thing is struggling. The poor harvester that thought it could. Right here. It may make it to the end of the run. Not gonna hold my breath on it. Luke said, poor harvester, he can fix that. I wouldn't doubt it, sir. Would not doubt it. All that wasted land right there because of tram lines. Luke, I might have to pick your brain at some point. I have an idea for a vehicle that I want to make, and it's going to be absolutely 150,000% ridiculous. And I just need to figure out how to set up the XML for it, as well as how to set up for various options in the store. Because I have yet to really dabble with vehicles. I haven't looked at the XMLs for them too much. Something I kind of want to mess around with. Now, if and when I do create vehicles, I'm going to tell y'all now, it's going to be something you ain't seen in Farming Sim yet, and it's going to be something that's going to be just absolutely outrageous, nothing to do with actual farming, but it can be used for farming. We'll just leave it at that. Alright, so Ultra says, okay, here we go. In 2008, when Farm Sim was announced, in 2009, well, yeah, so 2009 is when the first Sim was out for the first time. Giants was partnering with Focus Entertainment, and they were with them until 2019. So in 22, and we never get a break. Ken said he put a toolbox in that small shed that housed the Kubota on this map. You know, that's an excellent use of that shed, sir. I probably should have integrated a workshop trigger on that shed, but the problem is you would have had to park your vehicles outside of it, because there's no way you're going to be able to pull a tractor in that little bitty thing. And I am full. I was over there reading, chatting, and I just started running through all the crop. Somebody gonna be mad at me. So McGurk says vehicles he can help with. Luke says tractors and equipment he's best at editing. Maps he just throws his custom textures in and call it good. You know, that's fair. Ultra said in 22 was the first time they were by themselves with new itching, and that's why they have been struggling with the new 25. You know, okay, that makes sense now, because I played 19 and I played 22. And this one was, you could see they were wanting to do something innovative, but at the same time they were falling really short on what they were trying to accomplish. And it seems like the main thing I wish they would do is listen to their community about what the community wants, especially when it comes to some of the new DLCs and stuff. Give us what we're asking for, or something along those lines. So, Giants, if you're listening to this, please, 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 nobody asked for boars. And then Ultra said, by the way, he's been playing the game since 09. Good Lord, sir, you played every iteration then. That's what's up. He says, it works well, just pull next door to the shed. Yeah, I could have done that. Absolutely could have. Unfortunately, if I were to add it in now, it would require a new save for you to be able to see that feature. I mean, that would be like an optional, like, you know, something to throw in there as a surprise for somebody that starts a new game. So guys, if I were to make a vehicle What would be the most ridiculous thing y'all could imagine that somebody could drive on this game? And when you're picturing this vehicle, picture it pulling a plow across a field. Garrett, a giant swamp buggy. That would be mildly fantastic, sir. Yeah, Ken, if I did set that up, it would be to where the trigger would be inside the shed. Lonnie, how's it going today, sir? Welcome to the channel. You love the trains, huh? Well, what if I told you those trains were originally 200 cars long? But due to performance issues and loading times, I had to reduce that. Yeah, the biggest issue was when you first loaded the game, you literally had to wait about 5 minutes before you could actually use the shop because it had to finish loading in all of the train cars. I mean, it was a great concept until I started filling up the map. But I just did it just to see if it was even possible and see if it would actually load. Thank you, Ronnie. How are you doing, sir? So we got Lonnie and Ronnie in here. That's what's up. I could if it was a PC-only map, but since it is an all-platforms map, I had to use the lizard on them because consoles do not allow branded equipment that is not that is unlicensed. So I had to kind of sacrifice on that. Yeah, Ken, I kind of left that shed like that where it was empty with just the ladder and the Kubota in it, just to give people options so they can, you know, kind of do whatever they wanted with it. I mean, if you wanted to sell it, that's fine. If you wanted to go download some of Icus's toolbox and slap in there, have at it. Just do whatever you want with it. I'm all down for people customizing things and making it their own. Oh, that's what's up. That explains everything right there. glad both y'all decided to join in here today. Just remember, guys, if y'all are enjoying what you see and you want to see more of my content, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell, let you guys know when I go live. I do have links for my Discord down in the description, so y'all want to hop in there to kind of keep track of what I'm working on and everything. Also, link to my Facebook is there as well. I would appreciate the follow on there. Trying to get to 500, I'm so close. Ronnie, thank you, sir. Swamp Rat, how are you doing today? Welcome in, sir. You know, Swamp Rat, I had a original EverQuest character that was named Thibodeau Swamp Rat. You know, because I'm from Louisiana, so I can get away with that. And I'm sure a lot of y'all noticed the kind of the appeal to where this map had a lot of Louisiana qualities to it. So if I had all knowledge that you have, you talk about regarding the farm sim and everything, or what are you talking about in general here? You know, I honestly have no idea what I would do with all that knowledge. To be real. Never actually sat and thought about that. And Lonnie, yeah, just, I would say be patient. Somebody is bound to make one at some point. Personally, I've never been to Kansas. I have no idea what it actually looks like out there. I would have to do a heck of a lot of research before I could even attempt to make anything that would resemble Kansas. Because when you go to make a map and you're saying it's based on an area, you better have some qualities of that area or people are going to call you out on it quick. That's one thing about the community. They love it when something's accurate. They do not like it when it is not. Oh, that's what's up. That's awesome. Yeah, Ken said he couldn't be bothered to run to the vehicle shop to repair equipment. Yeah, I could get that, you know, considering all of the equipment you start with on this map is pretty much in dire need of repair immediately. So slapping down a repair shop right there makes plenty of sense. In fact, I was watching a few people on Twitch over the weekend that had done exactly that. Ultra, you know a Florida map is going to be nothing but cattle, right? I mean, that is their #1 farming aspect that they got going on out there. They raise all that beef out there. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is a bunch of other things that they do farm in Florida besides cattle, but that is their #1 thing that they do. Little tidbit of information for those that didn't know. it's not all about the oranges out there. Yeah, see, I spent a few years living in Orlando area, so I'm fairly familiar with the aspects of the Central Florida region. Yes, they do grow some peanuts. See, now, if I did a true Louisiana map, it would be sugarcane, cotton, corn, soybean, and rice. That's it. Those are the main crops you find out here in Louisiana. And then, you know, I'd have to integrate crawfish into the rice paddies, because that's how we do it here. Gator farming simulator again. So is the price of your farm one arm and one leg? Is that what you had to give up to get it on that one? Lonnie, no, sir. Thank y'all for stopping in. And thank you for downloading the map. Remember, guys, if you've downloaded the map or any other mods, please go out there, rate those mods on ModHub. Let the modder know exactly how they're doing on it. Be honest, be fair with your rating. Don't just go out there and give all of them a 5-star or a 1-star. Be honest with your ratings. It does let the modders know how they're performing. Maybe they need to hop in there, maybe get an update, fix something. Those reviews go a long way. Ooh, some etouffee. I make some dang good etouffee myself. I've almost harvested this whole field. Thankfully, the other one is the smaller of the two fields that I got to do. Oh yeah, it's tiny. Yeah, that was actually caused with the latest patch for the game. And I've gotten a few reports of it also being on PS5 as well. But not near as many as I've gotten for the Xbox. Yes they are, Ken. That is the Critters mod. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's definitely on this map, but I've also got reports that it's on other maps as well. Any map that has a lot of assets and a lot of different textures and stuff, those are the ones that they're getting those issues on. I just wish there was something that we as modders could do about it, but unfortunately, if I were to modify the map to compensate for that, the map would be unrecognizable. No, Ken, this is a PC only mod. So those that do play the game on Xbox, how is the coloring on there? Because I've gotten a few people that have said it's really dark and things like that, and I don't know if that's just because at nighttime, because that was intentional. Ultra, that would be fantastic if they could work something like that in. But unfortunately, it's because of the way the road systems work in the game. That's why you're not going to see that. You had a better chance of something like that in 22, where the roads were actual rigid bodies in the map. These roads are literally just terrain decals. Yes, they are. So yeah, Swamp Rat, the crickets are part of that Critters mod as well, I believe. There's so much going on in that mod, it's hard to specify exactly what's part of it and what isn't. Especially when you're like me and you run it all the time. Wrong button. Yeah, so the reason I was asking about the colors is I've seen like a lot of people that have been posting videos and stuff of their gameplay, and it looks really like muddy color, like it's like they need to adjust their brightness or something on their game. And I don't know if that's part of their streaming software doing that, or if that's their game settings, but there's some where it just looks really horrific. So I'm going to send this over via AI to the next field. So let's see, it's just 8. And where does this one need to go? This was number 90. Where was working? Was that AI worker blocked by an object? I need to go give him a push. Is he trying to turn around? Yeah, you do. That's because that's a Giants thing. That is the texture they use for water coming out of those. There is nothing I can do to fix that. Well, I probably could, but it would probably require a lot of effort on my part that I would have to struggle to figure out. Here's your road. Go. Just got blocked by his own self. Really, car? Thank you, Ronnie. And Ultra said, well, I can make a map in editor, but trying to say you can't get it in game after you've done that, or you've done that twice now. I got 2 maps out there right now from 22 and 1 from 20. Okay. You say you can't make a map in editor, but you can in game. Okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I misread that the first time. I was a little confused there for a minute. Yeah, no, making a map in the game versus one in the editor, those are 2 completely different animals. Yeah, most people don't actually put that on the water tanks. Most people don't put the output on there like that for when you're filling up. Most time they just put the trigger and it just does its thing. Yeah, I actually had a farmer donkey help me with that. He yanked that pipe off something else and slid it in there for me like that, and it worked out great. So a huge shout out to old donkey for that one. Yeah, so we're hitting that stage of the day where it's going to get, or gosh, I'll say of the evening where it's going to get pitch black on this map. I'm just going to turn all the lights on. There we go. Yeah, in 22 I was going to make maps for that one, but every time I went to try to do something with the editor, I would just, all the textures looked like Chrome. I couldn't make heads or tails out of anything I was looking at. So I just said, you know what, I'll just wait. And then this one came out. I didn't mess with it for a while because I was afraid it was going to do the same thing. And then one day, my buddies were like, I bet you can make a better map than this garbage that we got out here. I was like, you know, I probably could. If the editor would work with me, I was like, you know what, let me go download it and see if I can at least get something loaded up in it and see if I can get started. And sure enough, it worked fine. I was like, okay, well, all right, guys, I'll see y'all in about 4 or 5 months after I figure out how to make a map. Oh, you're welcome. That was just simple water plane. Yeah, y'all did. Why do I say seasonal growth is recommended? Let me just show you this. You see this December through February? By the end of December, you're going to have so much snow on the ground, you're not going to be able to make heads or tails of what you're looking at on the fields. And then it just keeps piling up all the way through the end of February. And you see this thing in November, there is a very slim chance you will get one during these months as well. I think I just passed up my field. I did. Oh, absolutely. Go right ahead. Just make sure it goes in the appropriate channel on there for what you want to send a link for. No, you get that much snow every year on this map. Yeah, that's the only aspect of the map that's not truly Southeast U.S. Ish, but it works. Look, if it snowed like that here, we'd all lose our mind. Oh wait, these people lose their minds just over a dusting of snow. In fact, it doesn't even have to actually start snowing. Snow's in the forecast and these people are losing their minds. I'm a worker on this one. Crazy? No. The sun is out and they lose their ability to drive. Perfect, Ultra. I need to quit reading chat and pay attention to the road over here. About to run into a tree. I need to turn my overlay on so I see the chat on my screen instead of having to keep glancing over to the other one. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no texting, just glancing and driving. All right, Ultra, I'll check it out. Yeah, dead calm. With the way the ice cream truck works, the school buses, and all the cars in the football field parking lot, there's no collision on those because of when they're not there, the collision would persist. So I've made a judgment call on that to just not give them collision. And I even made a note of that to Giants whenever I submitted it. So that way they knew that that was intentional. Lonnie, I've started on it, but I'm not at a position yet to where I am ready to give out the information on what I'm doing. When I get further along and I actually have something to show, then I'll make a formal announcement on it. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out, Ultra. Yeah, right now I'm not really working on that other map. I'm more focused on making sure I get everything I need done for this update for this one. And then I'll probably get started on it at some point next week. Or shall I say, continue working on it next week. So I'm still trying to figure out the basic layout of how I want everything to be on it and everything. So the only thing I've done so far is kind of drew out the border, got the elevation set for that, and got a couple of bodies of water in place, and I'm just trying to integrate all of that into the map as a whole. But I will tell you all this much about that map. It will have a water plane that goes underneath the entire map. Believe it or not, that map is not going to have any trains. And when you see the map, you will understand why. All right, McGurk, thank you for stopping by. Remember, guys, if you haven't hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell yet so you know when I go live, make sure you do so, especially if you're enjoying the content. Helps me out, helps you out for being able to see the content that you do like. Those algorithms, you know, they like things like that. Oh, it's not my insurance that needs to be paid up, it's theirs. Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about BDD's driving skills. It is it's something there's something to be said about that. I was kind of disappointed he didn't take any of the roads that had those bridges that he could have fallen off of on this map. All right, Lonnie. Appreciate you stopping in. Y'all have a good night. Luke says, that water plane you mentioned, FS-17, had a map, Lost Islands, one of his all-time favorite maps. He would like to bring that map to 25 with productions. Now, unfortunately, I try not to touch other people's work. So, especially not without their permission. No, don't worry, Ken. I got a few things for BDD on that map. Yeah, so Tune into our streams. It'll be entertaining. Oh, he's already full. Good Lord. I'm over here, like, waiting to see him, and he's already just stopped over there waiting on me to come collect. I need to pay attention. Ronnie says someone is making a 4X lone oak. Oh, that'd be nice. G-Bill, good evening, sir. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. Now I gotta figure out what I gotta do to eat on this for this mod. Is that? Oh, eat menu, Control R. I hit it, nothing happened. Maybe I need to get out. Let's try the other control. Well, that's for resting. That's not making me eat. That's not doing me no good. Oh, it's Control R, K. Or, let's just try K. What does that do? Aha! Here we go. Come on, guys. Y'all couldn't have put dollars in this thing as well? There we go. Okay. My hunger is looking a little better now. Again, says, tell BDD he can only use the motorcycles for getting around. Sir, have you ever seen that man try to drive a motorcycle in this game? It is, it's something. And yes, he hates them something fierce. Luke says, Lone Oak will never be the same as the original in 17 without his custom textures or Alien Gems custom. Ooh, yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. All right, Ultra. Appreciate you hanging out. You have a good night, sir. I'll catch you next time. It's slowly starting to get a little brighter out here. Not much, but a little bit. This dang hat switch on this joystick of mine needs to quit acting up. I don't want to keep looking down. Let's get some light out here so I can see. The blue HUD next to my speedometer, that's for deaf. And Jim says, I think these long trains are going to be a nightmare for the folks that use auto drive. You know, it's a very good possibility. Now, do they stop for, like, if there's an AI blocker or a traffic blocker? If they do, then the trains will still work fine for it. Papes, what's happening, sir? Hey guys, y'all make sure you hit up Papes Farming Mods. He's got a YouTube, well, he's got Facebook as out there. He's the maker of Rolling Farmlands of Michigan. He's also got another map that is just got sent back to him from Giants. It's called Shorelines of Lake Michigan. And he's got another one he's working on that he's starting the testing phase of, which is called Smoky Mountain Farming. All of which I have had the pleasure of checking out. Even got a few videos on my channel for you guys to check out of those maps. Make sure you guys drop in there, say hi to him on his Facebook and everything. Give him a follow. The man is amazing. All right, Ultra. I'll be looking for you, sir. You take it easy once again. Ronnie says FS17 is his favorite farming simulator. Could you please elaborate on that, sir? Why was that your favorite over some of the other ones? And Luke says that the auto drive could possibly be true for that being an issue. Luke says, Papes! And Papes goes, not much. You going to be on here for a few, or should he jump in here? Actually, this is only a single player game, sir. I'd have a lot of mods loaded in. You would be downloading for days if you tried to jump in here. I'm sure a lot of this stuff you do not have. Give me a minute on that. Let me gotta actually sign in to type in this thing. Give me a minute, guys. There you go, guys. There's a link to Papes' Facebook for you. I mean, that is an accurate statement, sir. You do have... in fact, I think you may have more mods than I do, courtesy of old Will loading us up on all this stuff. Let's see if I can sneak up here and get loaded up before he turns around. You need some help getting those store icons lined out there, sir? I may be able to help you out either probably tomorrow, but I won't be able to do much for you today. Yeah, he's sitting at about 1650. I'm sitting at about 1500. I'm gonna go ahead and go run this load on over to the grain mill. Yep, no, I'm not. I'm gonna stay right here. I just saw what was on the tracks. Really? What caused the whole cell... okay, so... I can tell you what caused your cell point to disappear. Check for your little slash. If you left that out, it's going to throw it all out of whack. Alright guys, I'm going AFK for just a minute. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, Pape, so you say everything's there? So do this. Load up your map, then check your logs and see if it's throwing any errors or anything. and that I could probably help guide you if depending on what error it's throwing, if it is throwing one. Come on, Luke. I went back and looked at. I had to pull some assets for this map out of FS19. So the editor, it's changed, but it hasn't changed that much from what I could tell when I've loaded up that editor. So you might be okay. Alright guys, I need one more follower on my Facebook page for 500 followers. Who wants to do it? Link is down there in the description. Hit me up, somebody. Make it happen. All right, I can turn my lights off. I can see now. All right, Ronnie, that's what's up. Yeah, I knew what you meant on that. That's actually a fantastic harvester. Glad to see that that's in the game. Yeah, I probably should have took this load before I filled it up. This tractor is like, nope, not today. You know what? I'm taking a different route. Take a little, maybe a little bit longer drive, but I think it's a little easier to navigate. That's why I don't have to go climb that big old hill. Thank you, Ken. Which I ain't gonna have any problem dumping in here. I shouldn't with this trailer. I tested this thing with the largest of trailers for raising up. Come Why am I in reverse? Alright, let me get over there and get this field finished up. Then we can sleep, progress this thing to the next month. Get some daylight out here again. See, I go looking at chat and here I'm over here ramping off the railroad tracks. Ken, why you do that to me? Thank you for the sub, sir. Oh, he's done. Look at that. Yeah, so those signals at that crossing right there, those weren't there for the longest time during testing until I just kept getting run over every time I went to pull out of the main farm or pulling in there. Because I eventually got fed up with the train, so I put those signals in there to let me know when there was a train, and they just ended up staying. Because it was getting pretty bad. I mean, it was literally almost every time, or a train would pass by, then I'd start to go, and here come the other train from the other side, and it ended up slapping me. Yeah, as you can see, the hills on this map are no joke. I do strongly recommend a manual transmission on your vehicles. That way you can downshift to kind of maintain your speed, or at least not lose as much speed. Alright, I'm going to take a chance here. It's either going to end well or it's going to end very badly. Alright, I made it. Alright, let's go collect my money from those. And you cannot see that intersection at night. know I told people I wouldn't put any more lights on the map, but there's a few intersections I might need to put some light up for. I haven't decided yet. But one thing they got to remember, if I start adding too much to this map, the performance on it is gonna go south the more I keep adding. So careful what you wish for. And Pape says he ended up in a tree the first time, and Ronnie's like he likes it the way it is, you know. Like to hear that. All right, so I'm gonna get up about 5:30 in the morning. I love when it decides to do an auto save while I'm sleeping. That was special. Oh, look, I made $249 from wages. You know what? Let's see if I can slap one of these down on the lake before the sunrise occurs. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get creative with this. This is either going to work well or not at all. I think I've already passed them up. Okay. I got the center point set literally at the center. So that's not going to let me do that I want to do there. Plus, I'm getting the area is restricted because of being on the lake. We'll just set it up right here. There we go. All right, so for those of you that have not been in the stream for a while so far tonight, so per popular demand, people were wanting me to make the deck and one of the boat docks as placeables so they could replace them after selling the houses on the property. Well, I made it happen. So this is the dock that you would get, or the not the dock, the deck. You can see right here. So I added an umbrella to the original one. Got a little light up underneath there. And I put a light right here on the swing. Just to brighten it up a little bit. You still have plenty of room to add additional things on top of it that you would like. So I kind of left that open for you guys to do as you want with it, instead of just leaving it however I may have envisioned it. It gives you guys more options, plus it saves a little bit on your slot count by me not adding more stuff on here, especially if you're on consoles. And then the boat dock that I did is this one over here. So I added this light to it here. And now it also has two lights underneath that are hanging. So when your boat is under there, you'll have some light on there. Now I'm still going to do some more tweaking on the boat dock. It's not completed yet. That right there was just proof of concept at the moment. I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking on it. I'm not going to add too much to it. It's just going to be kind of adjusting angles of some of the pieces of it and everything to make it make a little more sense. Ken, I don't blame you. Those are base game houses, man. I would have put some of those on the map, but I could already tell my slot count for this thing was already getting pretty high. And I'd rather people have the ability to put down the houses they want versus the houses that I want them to have. And that way I'm also not forcing them to have to get something that's a required mod and things like that. I tried to limit how much space that they were having, how many things they were having to download and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about releasing this one on its own. If I do, I may add a little more to it for that purpose. As far as the boat dock goes, that would only be useful on select maps. But I will send one over to Papes if he wants to integrate it into one of his maps, since he does have some boats on his. So I will send that over to him if he wants to maybe integrate it. So I'll give him an option on that. But definitely this deck, I'm absolutely thinking about releasing this as a standalone. The only thing is Giants is probably going to yell at me because currently if it snows, snow does not appear on the decking itself. And that's because the textures and the way this thing was designed, there's a huge issue with it, and so I just had to turn the snow off on all of that. Now they do have another model that I could use in its place for this. It has a little bit different wood texture. I'm thinking about trying that and seeing if I can get that one to work with the snow. So if I can, then that'll be what I would use for the placeable as opposed to this style. So it's just one of those things that's up in the air at the moment, and I'm just kind of playing around with. I want to make sure that when I do submit it as a standalone, that it is actually a completed object and it is up to everybody's standards. Yeah, and if Giant says that I need to have snow on this thing, I'll send them a picture of what it looks like with it and say, here, you want this? Would you want this on your map? You know, throw it in their face and say, I can promise you, this isn't something you want. So I figured we'd hang out here and watch a sunrise real quick. Well, not exactly quick. This thing takes a minute. So what are some things that everybody's been doing on my map so far? So what all of y'all done? Have y'all destroyed the entire starter farm and started all over down there? Did you decide to start with the large cattle farm in the southwest or southeast corner down there? What have y'all done? So Ronnie, which crops have you been growing over there on yours? Yeah, Swamp Rat, those sunrises and sunsets, that to get that looking the way I have it, that literally took me like 30 hours of fighting with that XML, making minor adjustments here, a minor adjustment there, just to get it there. And it's been a journey, and I'm glad that I finally hashed it out and got it to where I wanted it. Because every time I had it looking good, I would have like either the sun coming up looking good, but then the sunset would look like crap, or the moon would look like crap as it was going down, or something like, or vice versa. So I ended up having, so I was literally practically pulling my hair out while trying to get that all done. Yeah, so each of these posts here that has the light on top of it, the base game version of that did not light up. So I literally had to cut out the portion of the texture there for the light, and I had to make that its own texture to apply it as a self-illumination, and then I had to put individual lights on each one of these as well. And when I first did it, the radius on them was so wide, it was literally lighting up the post to each side of it. It was ridiculous. Thank you there, Swamp. And see, Deadcom says he kept the starter farm as is and concentrated on getting food for the animals so far. That's usually what I do when every time I was playing this thing before release. Some reason I kept migrating back to the starter farm to focus on those animals. I literally had to force myself to go test the other fields on the map. See, and Ronnie says he been harvesting crops and Tin and Ray and driving around. And all the new crops, absolutely. Matthew says he's just enjoying driving around on the map. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I tried to make it as scenic as I could. Yeah, so I'm going to let it become daylight so I can actually show you these things in actual daytime. I'm going to actually speed up time a little bit for that. Now, have you guys had a chance to see a tornado on the map yet? Alright, so right here you can get a good idea of how the deck looks and everything. And then this dock here is the one that is the placeable. I chose this one over this other one because of the placement of the boathouse off to the side. Makes it a little bit easier to get in and out of it, as opposed to having to fight that little narrow space that you have to work with over on this other one. I may add a few more planks to shove it further out in the water. I just have to kind of play with it a little bit to see how it all works out and kind of go from there. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think I need to add more to it or leave it as is? Alright, so that right there is the big thing for the new update, aside from what I did with field grass and corn. So let me show you guys the field grass before I do the corn stuff again. We're going to get rid of our nice poplar field we got here. Okay, so that's it planted. Then this is your first growing stage. This one you can harvest and get a 15% yield. This will give you a 25%, 45%, 75%, and 100%. Now, if you don't harvest it in November, when it comes back around the spring, it'll be at this stage and you're not going to be able to harvest that. But if you do harvest it, then in spring, you'll be at this stage where you can harvest. So keep that as a reminder for this particular one. And then on corn, so I'm going to actually have to get a harvester real quick for this to show it. I did not realize I was still flying. Went zipping by the building. All right, Ken. You out of here? You have a good one, sir. Great having you in here. Need to go over here. I'm gonna get a big boy for this. What's the most expensive one aside from base game? Yes, I loaded up all kinds of stuff in here. Hope I got enough to get a header. Of course not. All right, so let me inject myself with some money. Get back in there. That's right, you gotta climb on this thing to connect it. So watch behind the harvester. So no mod needed to get straw from corn. And that will be included in the update. And it produces a lot. I may tweak the amount it produces because I think that might be a little absurd. Not 100% certain yet. What do you guys think? You think I need to tweak that, or do you think that pile's big enough? Or is it not? Or is it not big enough? Or is it too big? What do y'all think? Dead Call says getting more straw than corn. Yes, sir. I see one flaw with this new header that came out last week. It literally drags the ground, or that may be the harvester. I'm not sure. Let's see. Can I raise that up or down after I lower it? Can I tweak it in any way? Yeah, it don't look like it. Yeah, I don't know what that's changing there. It's not doing what I'm thinking it was. Okay. So I think Dead Calm says I need to reduce the amount of straw. I mean, I just plugged in a number just to see that it worked. Haven't had a chance to actually kind of tweak it any, but I mean, you got to remember, on a corn plant, that's most of what you get is the straw. There's not a lot, really a lot of it that is actually the fruit. Oh, never mind. Okay, no, that's why that thing was having a problem. I was dragging the sign the whole dang time. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I think I might leave it like that. People are either going to love it or hate it. If they hate it, you know what? You can always disable straw. If you love it, well, collect it. Have fun with it. Alright guys, I am coming up on 4 hours of streaming tonight. It's about time to call it a night. I would like to thank everybody for coming out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe, like, and ring that bell. Make sure you do so. Follow me on Facebook, hit up my Discord, and make sure you guys are rating your mods. Just go into Mod Hub in-game. After you download the mod, select the mod again. It gives you the option to rate it. Be honest with your ratings. That does help out the modders with knowing how their mods are performing. And that way, they'll know if they need to go back, take a look at it, and maybe make some adjustments here and there. And once again, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I'll be back streaming probably Thursday night is what I'm thinking, or Thursday evening sometime. I'm not sure exact time. Started this one at 7 p.m. Central, so probably somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock Central Time Thursday night. So keep an eye out for the link to pop up. If you're in my Discord, it will automatically pop up as soon as I post it. So once again, thank you guys. Keep an eye on my Facebook page for all updates. And I'll catch you guys next time. Y'all have a great night.
Thanks for watching InsaneSimGuy's Chaos Farm. Neighbors cheering, sirens call. Oversized tractor won't fit in the barn. Lawnmower still out there carving up the yard. Oh yeah. Tornado rolled through like see you, good luck. Questionable vintage gear finally gave up. This is the Chaos Farm farewell. Don't be like OSHA and rage quit the realm. Smash that like, hit subscribe, ring that bell. InsaneSimGuy's Chaos Farm will reign again, oh will. Woo! Hey, hey. Cows back home, staring over the fence. That field A3 engines, none of it made sense. Harvester sitting on the water tower still. Nobody knows who did it, nobody ever will. This is the Chaos Farm farewell. Don't be like OSHA and rage quit the realm. Hey, smash that like, hit subscribe, ring that bell. InsaneSimGuy.